There you go.
I'm talking to two Brits now, mate.
Yeah, seriously, dude.
And by the way, kids, we're live. Welcome to Sermon on the German, Year in Review. We'll be right back.
This is 2OF Entertainment.
Hello.
We're live, boys and girls.
Hello.
Welcome to all the kids around the world and all the boys and girls, the ships at sea. Here we are, broadcasting here on our 2 megawatt station. No, I'm just kidding.
I must point out, because you've just said all the kids and all the boys and girls. Yeah, this is not a children's show.
No. If you have children, hide them. Hide them. This is not to Brown Car Guy's point. This is probably not a kids show you want the kids to watch.
This is probably not safe.
If you're listening to this in the car, thinking this is going to be like a, hey, yay show, it will be. But some of the vernacular you don't want your kids using. I mean, unless you're in New York City, then you're using it already in the first grade. So it doesn't matter. So there you go. So everybody, welcome to the show.
Hello, everybody. How you doing?
Let's just teleport 2025 in. Here we go.
There we go.
No, we're already in 2025.
Yeah,
Are we? Oh,
yeah.
I'm lost.
Catch up, dude. Catch up, David.
David's at the
I'm still recovering from my FIFA award, so it's been a tough night.
Yeah, you're recovering from what?
His
my FIFA award. Yeah.
He and Donald Trump got an award.
Oh, did you? What? He got Peacemaker. What did you get? Troublemaker.
Pacemaker. David got Pacemaker.
No, as you can quite clearly see, if any of you could read, I'm actually the FIFA Venezuelan oil award winner.
Oh, we're going there.
I got a special award for the oil that I now have from Venezuela.
We're going there.
Yeah.
Well, this is going to be an interesting year in review. So, where do you want to start? We do have the Donnie.
Man,
that's a whole year in review. There.
From an automotive perspective, which I've got to touch on, obviously being the Brown Car Guy. He has been
subject that you didn't want to talk about on this show. You mean?
I know. Maybe I should break that taboo. Maybe I should. I don't know.
Just so the fans know, we've been doing this show with you for about 2 years now. And the first 6 months, with Brown Car Guys, like, listen, I want to talk about anything but automotive.
Anything but cars.
And now every show we touch on automotive. So that's why it's just funny. It's an inside joke.
Oh, hello. Look at this guy.
Hi, buddy. How you doing? There you go.
My goodness. He's a handsome fellow, isn't he?
Yeah. And
thank you very much. You're talking about his dog. All right.
There you go. That's the real star of the show. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Nobody brings me a bone in the morning. I can't even get a bone in the morning these days.
At this point in life, you just take out one of your own and you go, here you go, buddy, just take that.
There you go. Have that one. Chew on that.
David's envious of a stiff wind. Anyway, let's talk about the automotive in 2025. Sorry about that.
Are we talking about cars with the Brown?
No. It's just because you said the Donald, and of course, he set off a chain reaction of upheaval and disruption in the car industry very early on in this year with, the tariffs are on, the tariffs are not on, no tariff against this country, tariff against that country, now not against that country. It's just been absolute chaos. And
it's like tariff hokey cokey then, isn't it?
Tariff hokey cokey, absolutely,
the tariffs out.
We shake it all about.
Out. Move them all about.
Yeah. And honestly, the car industry.
Obviously, you've never been to a wedding, Stephen. So you'd have known everybody does hokey cokey at a wedding. Come on.
Not the Jewish weddings. We don't.
What's your Jewish equivalent to them? Yeah, but that's a standard one. I thought you have specific ones.
Oh, we're talking about hokey cokey here, mate. Yeah. It's like the real stuff.
We have the Kill the Gentile one. What else do we have? Other than that.
We just had that. That was in Easter.
That was in Easter. Yeah. And by the way, you're welcome. Go ahead.
Yeah, no. So really, I mean, like I said, you're going to talk about Donald Trump. I guess from the automotive world point of view, it's just been an absolute disaster. Because the thing with the car industry is the car industry plans, 10, or they used to plan 10, 15, 20, like two model cycles. Model cycles is between 5 and 10 years, whatever.
I thought they made cars. You're talking about cycles now. What bit did I miss?
Yeah, basically, yeah. That's how it started. Don't forget, don't forget that the world's oldest car magazine, Autocar, was a cycle magazine. It was Autocycle, and then Autocar when it came along. So but anyway, there you go. But yeah, so I mean, manufacturers will normally plan 5 years, 10 years, 7 years ahead for the next generation or the generation after that. But everything has been thrown up in upheaval this year because they don't know who they're selling to, they don't know where they're selling, they don't know how much they're selling for, they don't know what they're building. And if I can fast forward to the end of the year, because this has just happened, we've had this kind of arbitrary, well, not arbitrary, but I suppose deadline in the UK of the seizing of sale of brand new petrol and diesel cars by 2030. Now, it was set at 2030 by Boris Johnson. I don't know how many prime ministers ago that was. And then Rishi Sunak came along and sensibly said, no, we'll push that to 2035. Let's not worry about that for now. And then, of course, when we had the current government come in, they brought it back to 2030. The latest rumors are that we were still 5 years behind Europe because Europe said 2035. The latest rumors are that the car lobby in Europe has had its way, and they could possibly be pushing that to 2040. Giving us a 15-year margin. So, I mean, and where does that then leave the UK, which is still on 2030? So all of a sudden you have an industry that just doesn't have an idea of what it's doing. So in terms of the car industry, it's been an absolute mayhem and a disruptive disaster, quite frankly. But that's
it's been pretty good for me because I've been selling cans all week, of all this year, so people be able to kick them down the road because that's like that's the only growth the industry you've got.
Yeah.
Could you take your medication anyway? The problem is with the car.
Hey, I'm not the one playing with a bone first thing in the morning, but you know what I mean. I'm just saying.
You're just jealous. Anyway,
I was going to say, don't most guys do that? But anyway,
there you go, right? Or they wish. Anyway,
I don't know what sort of circles you move in. But, yeah.
Okay, so anyway,
the star of the show, Steve, just move over and let the dog take over.
Seriously,
he's a lot more interested than you are.
It's got clearly he's got stuff he wants to talk about. Clearly,
we're going to talk about Dakota. Dakota's she's just like it's early.
She said,
she's just like
Steve,
I need love.
She's saying, Steve, cut all the crap. Move over the chair. Let me take over the show.
Well, actually, it's really funny on the couch the way we have it set up. I have it set up for her that when I go to sleep at night, there's just where I sit right now is her section. So this is her telling me you're in my seat. But anyway, with the car industry, what's interesting is you look at like Porsche. Porsche is vacillating every other day, sort of like VW company. We're gonna be electric, we're not electric, we're electric, we're gonna be electric, we're not electric. So the whole world, like in this upheaval, I think partly because of Trump, and I think partly because people are realizing that electric cars are no better than petrol because it's the same pollution. I mean, not when you finally get to drive them, it's the same pollution. You have to make them. You have to get rid of a battery. You have to do this. You have to do that. It's all that. We have comments going on. So these are just people that are trying to, because they have no life, that are just making stupid comments. When someone asks a question of material or substance, we'll actually answer it. But anyway.
I'm happy to answer any questions on the automotive world if anybody wants that. That's no problem at all.
There you go. Not this stuff. But anyway, so that's an issue. General Motors just stopped making electric cars. I think Ford is slowing it down.
Yeah.
So the only people that are really doing it, other than like Tesla, becomes like BYD and whatnot. And really, like someone in my office actually has a Cybertruck, and it self drives. Like he doesn't touch the wheel at all. Yeah. And next year they're going to have it where the truck. You don't even have to be in it. It'll just drive around, pick people up kind of thing. And everybody else is like 4 or 5 generations behind that. So, and my thing is, I would love an electric car to an extent. I want an electric car, one that drives itself and that I sit in it. And it's an option if I want the steering wheel or not. And that my seats would swivel to like a table in the middle. So I can work, smoke a cigar, whatever I want to do in the car. But
so that means you're going to have your back to every accident. Then, so
that's fine. I'm backing out every accident.
You'll never see it coming.
Yeah.
You'll never see the end coming. No, I mean, to be honest, the vision that you've painted there is certainly within reach. Although I do think that it's a bit fanciful to be introducing fully autonomous cars at this point. You know, Tesla has a reputation of rushing technology through before it's actually ready. And I don't think that they are 100% ready. They shouldn't really be putting out cars that are completely autonomous. But
they already have.
I know they are, but they shouldn't be, because I don't think the technology is 100% ready. But talking about, you know, the fact that the Chinese situation, all the electric cars, the Chinese cars are self-driving. I just put up a video yesterday about Russia. And in Russia, and I don't think this was intentional, I'll say that right at the top. I think this was probably just a fault or something. But it certainly demonstrated a loophole in the whole issue of cars and the international situation with them, especially in terms of geopolitics. In Russia, what happened, everybody woke up one morning and all the rich Russians walked out to their Porsches, and their Porsches died, all of them.
Oh, wow.
And the reason they all died is because the satellite link was disrupted. And when the satellite link gets disrupted and the car is not able to communicate back through the satellite, it assumes it's being stolen or something like that. And then the immobilizer kicks in and it shuts the car down and disables it.
Wow.
And so across Russia, just at the end of November, a load of owners found that they couldn't go anywhere in their cars because the cars had just stopped. You know, they just decided it wasn't. So there's been some speculation as to whether that was sabotage or whatever, but most people think it's probably just a fault. But the reality is, what it demonstrates is how easy it is to do that. And when you talk about the fact that you've got to have electric cars, or that you have EVs, and you have China providing all of those EVs, and you think about the fact that it's a simple ping. It would be a simple ping to basically disrupt the entire mobility infrastructure of a country that you might be at war with. That is one of the many developments that we've seen, you know, in 2025, including obviously, you know, the whole moving forward of warfare in terms of now it's all drone fare, isn't it? It's just all drones now. And have you seen? Oh, I mean, for God's sakes, has nobody gone to China and ever put Terminator the movie in the cinema? Because a company in China has just created the T800 robot, as in the T800 Terminator, which is a kung fu capable robot. They have just created killer androids and called them the T800, the Terminator.
Well, they're going to have that. At the end of the year. They're going to have they're putting up all these fights live on TV, robots fighting and stuff.
Yeah.
Which is really strange, because people have remarked like, oh, well, that's unfortunate, as you know, because we feel that they're people. I mean, people get out with baseball bats and they whack them and they push them over, and they, you know, try to see whether or not the stability of these robots actually work, and it upsets people.
Yeah, because they're humanoid form.
Right.
Yeah.
The moment you give something a humanoid form, then you start to relate to it, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, it would appear
that's why they do it that way.
Yeah, exactly.
But why do people care more about?
Yeah, I mean, he's a humanoid
care
form.
more about robots than you do about people.
Well, it's because robots are nice and friendly. We've seen the movies. They bring you a flower. They destroy your planet. They'll walk the dog. They'll cook you breakfast. And now apparently the ones in China will boinky, boinky, boinky with you. So, I mean, you know,
and then they'll kick your ass as well. So it's like, it's quite extraordinary. But the amazing thing is, like, I mean, is this some kind of a cosmic joke? You know, we're heading into an uncertain future of AI, and we've literally created a robot and called it the T800, i.e. the Terminator, and given it kung fu skills. I mean, what are we doing?
I think it's actually slightly more banal. Banal than that. I think somebody just wanted to, they literally wanted people like us to talk about it, because they give it a name.
That's true.
You know, if they called it, you know, Bert number 1, nobody would be interested in it.
Can I tell you?
Or number 5. Number 5 is alive.
I would be, Bert and Ernie. Yeah. I would be impressed. I'd be like, oh, it's Bert and Ernie.
But I mean, if you want to appeal to the younger people, you should call it 67, shouldn't you?
Yeah, 67.
We're not going there. We're not going there.
It's not. By the way, it's not 67. It's not 67.
No, it's 67.
67.
Yeah. It's like 6 and 9 is not 69. You know.
So we had our prime minister.
We have a real question from a real fan. Most of you know him. as from the cigar show called Habano Saturday. Plug in. Don't forget to watch it live every Saturday.
He's not a fan. He's a troublemaker.
All right,
He's a
well, we're
troll.
gonna bring him on if you don't behave yourself. He wants to know what color is the TR800.
Pink.
The T800. It's robot color, which is black and silver. It's black and silver.
That's a very racist remark to make.
I know, seriously, right? Robots have rights. They have feelings. We should be aware of this.
What are we going to now? We're going to the brown robot guy. So where are we going?
That's it. Well, you have white robots, then you have the black robots, and then you have the silver and black robots.
And the yellow robots. Here we go.
Rizzo says he thinks he made his point. Here's one for you though. When you talk about the Porsches in Russia, didn't they learn from the 1940s not to trust the Nazis? I mean, seriously, come on.
They talk about it being a satellite.
This is the thing, because everybody thought that China would be the first country to actually initiate something like that, and whether this has happened, by accident or deliberately,
it could be China.
It turns out it's Germany.
It happens here every day. People in Holland are driving around in a big Mercedes. I had a boss 6 years ago, who had an M6, and it stopped halfway down the motorway because the chip said, "Oh, no, that's it, enough." Boom, and so he was stuck, and he couldn't go anywhere. They didn't. Even the people who trucked up to try and fix it, they didn't know what it was all about. So
that's what's funny about cars today. Like back in the day when I was growing up, when the Model T was around, you could fix a car. Like you could do the oil change, you could change belts. They taught that.
Did all of that,
now,
Stephen?
To fix a car.
Did all of that? Yeah,
No, we had a household. We had a household mechanic. I didn't do any of it. I'm just saying.
You had a man for that. You had a man for that.
Yeah.
Was he Mexican, Stephen?
Only white guys did that stuff back then.
Only white guys allowed to touch his white car.
Only white. That's true. As it is, that's the only white guys. But what's really funny today, if you open the bonnet.
Was he called the white guy then? Is that what you trying to tell us?
He was called the white guy, yeah. Well,
they're all white car guys. That's the trouble.
The chauffeur did it for us. Yes.
Anyway, the chauffeur. Did he have to take his jacket off first and undo his tie?
Yeah, undo his tie. Yeah, did all of that. Yeah. Anyway, if I may.
Stephen, please sit in the back of the car because we're going to fix it for you.
Yeah, and it was really weird. He would always turn the heat on. But anyway, so the thing is that today when you open up the bonnet, it's just.
Have you ever done that, Stephen? Have you ever opened up the bonnet of a car?
Personally, open up a bonnet? Well, there was this girl once, but not on a car. That's too much.
No, now you open the bonnet and basically you are just confronted with a sea of plastic. Yeah. And maybe a couple of panels where you can put like washer screen fluid in it and stuff like that, and that's it.
And everything else is covered.
Everything else is covered.
Even the supercars today, when you get them, like back in the day, the supercars, like everything was exposed. You could see it. It was beautiful.
Yeah, but they were super.
They were right. But now when you go into even the supercars, everything's covered.
Yeah,
it's like excuse me, part of owning a
supercar. You put a supercar up on one of those ramps and lift it up. Like normally you'd go under a car to inspect it and have a look. And you can't see a thing because it's completely because of aerodynamics. It's completely covered.
Of course you can't because you're standing underneath underneath a car. Of course you can't see anything.
You can have a lamp.
Come on.
You can look. You
can see stuff. You didn't say that. You didn't say that you had to have
I have to spell everything out.
At David's age,
no, this is 2025, guys. I mean, we need clarity. We don't need ambiguous statements like brown robot guy and
like robots are black and silver, which in 2026 I won't be allowed to say anymore. So
well, even if we may not get there, mate. They're going to pull the plug on us between there and then.
Well, but this is what's interesting. With this year in 2025, we got away, which thank God, from wokeism, if you will. We got away from people being kind of politically correct because of
I don't know. Have we?
No, of course we haven't.
Not politically correct. Thank God for that.
Exactly.
I mean, I think people
never affected Stephen. So
well, that's the trouble, isn't it? But no, I mean, I think that people have reacted against it, and I think that there's been a widening of the gulf between the left and the right. But I don't think necessarily either of them has cancelled each other out. I think they're as vociferous and as extreme as ever, honestly.
Well, we've kind of gone from Me Too to Me 6 and 7, haven't we? That's where we've gone to.
Oh my God.
So
No,
hashtag-
it's just been this crazy year. We got instead of the Department of Defense, we became the Department of War. Oh, hint, hint.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, that in itself is crazy.
Right. It's like we're going back to like the 1920s and 30s, which I've always said we're about to, at some point, history is going to repeat itself.
Yeah.
You know, the stock market's going crazy. The Fed here just lowered the rates by 25 bips to try to jumpstart the economy. Trump's saying, you know, we should be giving stimulus checks. And I'm like, dude, stop talking about it already and pop out the $2,000 to everybody.
Check. He needs
Yeah,
to stimulus check
that's
to
my
keep him
point.
away.
Yeah, but here in the UK, it's completely topsy-turvy because obviously we have the Labour government, and
Right.
you know they've just announced a scheme where you know after a year of punishing small businesses because of raising national insurance and stuff like that, to the point where even if they want to expand and even if they want to hire more people, they can't. They just can't afford it. They're just like they're closing shop. They're like, we can't do anything. And now the government is like, okay, well we'll pay you to give young people jobs. And it's like that. Surely this is a completely topsy-turvy world way of looking at things. You know, you've taken away the ability for businesses to naturally grow and expand, and now you're artificially telling them to give people jobs that don't actually exist because you want people to look like they have jobs. I mean, that's surely not the way to do it. And like you say, ultimately, we are heading towards a future of universal basic income because AI is going to take over. You say, what jobs? There are no jobs. You have a whole bunch of people coming out of university now going, oh, we were promised a job at the end of 3 years or 4 years or whatever it is with our 30 grand student loan that we've 30 to 50 grand student loan that we've now got. Where's my job? Oh, sorry, there isn't one.
In America, it's more like 300,000.
That's crazy.
Most kids make through university 7 years. They're not that smart here. And then they were promised nothing. And then they don't know what to do. And the other problem is,
well, you can't be disappointed then if you're promised nothing. You got nothing.
But the part, what I keep saying to people, no one really listens to it, is at some point, 7 billion people are going to take a picnic. Like, what do you do with them? So AI replaces this. AI. Salesforce is getting rid of 50% of their staff because they can use AI. LinkedIn is getting rid of it because
entire countries. You talk about countries like India. Well, you think about countries like India, which has got all the call centers. Right. If you're suddenly going to get AI to handle all the call centers, that is an entire industry.
But that's what I'm saying. So what do we do?
But what's wrong with that? Why should we be doing such mundane jobs as that?
But what do you do with the people? Here's my problem. If
you give them a universal basic income.
No, and you know why that won't happen? Because here's the problem. Someone's going to say, okay, what do you need to live on? People are going to say, I'm making up this number. Globally, everybody gets, I'm going to use US dollars. I apologize. I know there's pounds and euros and yen and whatever, but everyone gets $500,000 US around the world. Okay. Then you know what happens? Everyone's like, oh, everyone's making 500, you'll be poor because then all of a sudden a car is going to cost $3 million. A home will cost 20. People will look at it as, let's make it that everybody can live and kumbaya.
To go and work and get extra or not. The idea is that, but look, it's interesting that Shazad says, like, the UK government are going to pay people to employ people, pay companies, but basically that's just unemployment benefit.
That's communism.
But spoken out in a different way.
Yeah.
But
basically, you're paying people for a job that does not exist. Why not just give them the damn money? Do you know what I mean? It's like
exactly. You're still missing the point, though.
If that's not politically good, is it?
No, you're still missing the bigger point. That's whether they get rid of call centers, I get rid of tech people, I cut people, whatever it is, because of AI, robots, whatever you want to go with. There's a sector of people. Let's say there's 8 billion on the planet. There's 7 billion people that won't have jobs.
Yeah.
When 7 billion people, or as Mel Brooks would say, the peasants, it's good to be king. When they don't have things to do, like they have to come up with something to do. So what are they going to do? You know what I'm saying? And that's the problem. Right. And I don't care unless Elon gets everybody to Mars tomorrow. And by the way, we're going to Pluto for the holidays and it's very lovely there. And I get paid by the Pluto tourist board. And you just make a left from when you come in from the other universes and galaxies. But if you don't,
I heard the new portal is going to be ready by then.
Can I tell you, it's wonderful. You pay a little extra, you get there quicker. But the thing is that if you don't look after these other people, I don't care how much money you have, you know, if 1 billion people decide that they don't like it anymore, I don't care about because your army isn't making squat. I don't care what country you're in. At some point, the leaders have to say, how do we make it that we give the people some sort of a utopia? The CEOs of these companies that are getting $100 million a year, same thing, because what they keep overlooking is these people are going to get pissed off. You're screwed. And I don't care. And well, you're going to have a robot army. Okay. We've seen the movies. It doesn't fare well. And so it's very pathetic. Us as a human race, it's great to have money. I'm not taking you away from that. It's great that somebody hit it lucky and they become a trillionaire or a billionaire. That's great. But if you don't take care of everybody else and I'm not saying handouts, whether it's jobs or you say, hey, we have to make that they have water and food and how, then you have a problem. Because then all of a sudden, like you had during COVID, right? Or during 08 here, when the interest rates, people are like, oh, I have to pay more. People were becoming homeless. People were stealing. That's what's going to happen on a grander scale. And they're not going to care that there's the robo police officer or the robot this. They're going to be like, screw you. So if we don't start taking care of the people, or as Trump's trying it out, so we have to make it that people can afford to live, you know, make America affordable again. That ship has sailed. So to your point, if you're not going to do universal basic income, or are you better do it relatively quick. And $2,000 isn't universal income. Like we can't do shit with that.
There's a group of people who don't care, and they say,
well, I understand that.
Why should we bother? Why should we care?
I mean, it is actually quite disgusting.
Well, you know, what right do you have, you know, to ask me to help you put a roof over your head?
Yeah.
I mean, that's
you know, you mentioned trillionaire, and of course now we are talking about trillionaires because you know Musk is heading there and what have you. So yeah, I mean, when you think about when you try to understand how many zeros that actually is and what that actually constitutes and how you know you take a proportion of that and you could feed an entire country's poverty. You know, when you start to put it in those terms, you think this is absolutely disgusting. It's absolutely gone off the scale. It doesn't make any sense. I know how much money does one person need in their entire life. It's
look back through history. There were kings who had equally the trillions in their day.
I suppose contextually, but contextually within their smaller environments. Now we're talking global trillionaires, you know, and the impact of what we're doing now compared to impact of what it had in history, I think is significantly different because as you say, Stephen, you talk about 7 billion people that suddenly won't have a job, won't have anything to do in an era when the costs are just going off the scale. Everything is more and more expensive. Your bills, your home, your car. I mean, you know, they have now confirmed something that I predicted. Hey, book plug time that I predicted in the ULEZ files, which is set in 2026 when the first chapter opens. And in it, this action kicks off when there's an announcement in 2026 that pay-per-mile is confirmed and pay-per-mile is coming. Well, funnily enough, now in the latest autumn budget here in the UK, pay-per-mile has been announced just ahead of 2026. So I kind of predicted that. Don't know how that happened.
Is that a bad thing, pay-per-mile? The people, because
because I think that ultimately, initially what they're doing is they're introducing it on EVs and they will also introduce it on plug-in hybrids.
Because they're incredibly heavy, of course, and they're ruining the roads quicker than
roads that were designed to take HGVs are being destroyed by cars. Okay, fine, whatever. But anyway, the point is that they are introducing this, and the issue that I have with it, there's several issues, but there's, you know, one of them, for example, being is that they don't even know how they're going to do it. They don't know how they're going to do it. They have no idea. They say, oh, we'll do it at the MOT. We'll record your mileage. I'm like, yeah, good luck with that. First of all, brand new cars don't get an MOT until 3 years. So what are you going to do? Hit people with a massive bill at the end of 3 years?
They put tolls up. Electric
no, but they're not. Yeah, but they're not talking about that. They're literally clueless. They literally don't know how they're going to do it. They just say, "Oh, we'll record the mileage," and then you go, "Well, you're talking about EVs and plug-ins. You do know that they have digital odometers, right? You do know that actually it's so easy to change the mileage on those cars. You just plug in a laptop with the right software. In fact, I read somebody just commented on one of my videos and said you don't even have to do that. There's a series of things you can do in the car, like you press the pedal 3 times, you twiddle that knob 4 times, and then you can actually, you know. And I know that these things work because this is going off on a tangent, but in Dubai years ago, we had to do a video on a Lexus RCF, 500 horsepower plus, etc. And in the video, we wanted to do a burnout. And the system wouldn't let us do a burnout because it had the traction systems and everything. It just wouldn't let us do it. And we contacted Lexus in the UAE, and we contacted their engineers and like, we don't know how to turn it off. We really don't know how to turn it off. They said, we want you to do a burnout, but we don't know how to turn it off. And then my colleague at the time, Imtishan, he looked online, he looked into the forums, and he found the hack. And it was literally, you get in the car, you twiddle this, you do this, you press this 5 times, you do that, and systems are dead. All the systems get cut off, and then you can do the most epic burnout. So there are ways of doing these things. But the point being, coming back to the paper mile, the problem I have with paper mile is that, okay, you have VED, you have road tax, you have insurance, but those are annual bills that you know you're going to get and you're going to get hit with. And once you've paid them, you're like, right, it's my car, I'll drive it as much as I want. But when you start to tell people that you're paying per mile, suddenly that's a meter in your head. Yeah. Suddenly every journey, you've paid all that money to own and have that car, but suddenly every journey is becoming a cost. You know, going to the shops, you know, going to
every journey that you make in your car destroys the infrastructure. And
that's
why you have
the infrastructure has been designed for cars, but also forget about you and yourself.
There are too many cars. That's the problem.
But David, once again, who cares? Really, the government's bullshit. This paper, all of it's crap. It's just a way to bleed money from people.
You see it in Europe.
Well, we see it here in America. The roads get destroyed because cars are either getting heavier. It's not electric cars that destroy it, or supercars, or a normal car. Things are old. Fix them.
Yeah, the roads are old, basically. The roads are not being the roads here, the potholes that we have here are not because of the weight of the cars. It's because of the rain.
Yeah, it has been. I'm going to be dictator of the universe.
All those 8 million people.
Yeah, but it's not. This is not the way to solve them. What this does is, again, when we go back to the whole idea of what are people going to do, what is the cost of living,
how are they going to be fixing roads? That's what they're going to be doing.
They should fix the damn roads anyway. They don't even fix the roads. Edgware Road, they've had roadworks on it for the last 3 years, and they haven't fixed it.
You know, like yesterday, you were working as a secretary in some insurance company. You know, doing all the documentation. That's on a Friday. Monday, you work. You haven't got a job.
I will look.
I mean, that's going to be a growth industry.
And Stephen is in America, so you will know this. But when the car came into being, into widespread use, in the democratization of mobility, people were able to seek jobs in other places, to go and study in other places, to travel and learn about things, to go on lifestyle adventures and what have you. If you take away that freedom from the human being, you're taking away their income, you're taking away their job, you're taking away their independence, and now you're taking away their mobility. It's like, what are you leaving people with?
That's such a romantic load of bollocks.
It's not. It's not. People, even today, when you have bank holidays, what happens in the UK? The roads get snarled up, admittedly, but because everybody's jumped in their car because they have the freedom to go somewhere. If you realize that your trip to the coast,
it's a tool to be used to move you from A to B.
Yeah, it's the tool that you own.
I don't sit in my car and have maximum orgasms. Oh, I'm so free. I'm sitting in my car. Oh,
if you have paid, I don't know why you're doing that, but anyway, if you have paid all that money to own a car, and brand new cars now are hideously expensive. You know, back in the day when we used to think you can get a brand new Ford Fiesta for 15 grand, forget about it. Those are about 25, 30 grand now. They don't even exist anymore.
Wait, you get a Yugo for 4 grand.
You pay all that money, you paid road tax, you paid insurance, you paid all the rest of it. Now you fancy, it's the weekend, I want to take my family to the coast and pay for very expensive cotton chips down there, but that's going to cost me 300 quid now, because don't forget that the paper mile is going to be linked to inflation. It's going to go up every year.
So where does your romantic freedom come from?
The freedom comes from the ability to, if you own a car, to be able to get in the car and go. When I was younger, I drove miles and miles and miles just for the heck of it. I wasn't going anywhere. I wasn't that. I had no mission. I had no plan. I had a cool car, and I just dropped the wheels off.
That's the reason why you had to drive around on your own in the car.
Sorry,
you were probably Johnny No Friends. That's why. But
actually, this is the thing. When you were younger, and in our generation particularly, one of the main things that happened when you got a car, when you were the first person to have a car, you were suddenly the cool guy because everyone was like, "Oh, he's got a car." We can lift off Shazad. That was one of the rites of passage of owning a car. Nowadays, young people can't even afford to insure a car. Even if they could afford to buy it, they can't afford to insure it.
But young people today see a washing machine the same as they see a car. If I want it,
because we've made them do that. Because we've taken away the romance and the ideology and the emotion of a car from them.
That's just bollocks. It's just a tool.
130 years of passion. You're just pissing all over right there. That's what's happening.
Just wait. We have a comment from a fan that says, "Welcome to the new world. The old rules do not apply. Hanging on to the freedoms that have gone. This thing is just a part of the torture." So
There you go.
Oh, you want
There
the
you go.
freedoms to be taken away? Goodness
There
gracious!
was no freedom. There was no freedom.
And a dictator, where are we?
It's no freedom. It's just. I mean, what's Henry Ford going to say to you? You know, like, oh, get in my car, you'll be totally
Excuse me,
free.
Henry
He couldn't
Ford
give a
is
monkey's if you're free
not
or
gonna say
not.
anything
He
to
just
you.
wanted you to buy one of his cars. It's a complete bullshit around. The freedom.
It's not a bullshit,
the freedom
because
of
if you
the
think,
open road. Have you ever seen an open road? You live in
yes,
London,
actually,
for
yes.
Christ's sake.
But also, when you think about exactly, you just mentioned Ford and you mentioned the Model T. Model T is the car that mobilized America. That all of a sudden you could go places, you could do stuff. Infrastructure was built because of that car. You know, suddenly when you get cars, we now need to build highways.
Rizza says this is called nostalgia. So for you two old guys that are living in the past, like me, who I live in the future.
I don't live in the past.
Yeah, you're living somewhere. We all crave what's gone because life at the present moment is
crap.
Satisfying. Yeah, basically, it's all shit.
Yeah. So what's wrong with looking at a better time and trying to reinterpret that for a better future?
They weren't better times, were they?
No, the best time is going to be 33.
Yeah,
that's the best time.
They weren't better times. Summers weren't longer. They weren't warmer. You know,
depends where you were, mate. I grew up in Saudi Arabia. So
I was going to say, dude, his summer was 50 C constantly. It didn't really matter.
All I can say to that remark is, welcome to London, the greatest. I mean, that's where
according to Rick, who's 7 million years old, 1985 was the best year in human history. I disagree. Okay.
No, I mean, to be fair, the 80s did rock.
Just start to masturbate then, I suppose. That's
no.
To be fair, the 80s did rock. I think the 80s is the best.
I think the 70s, the 60s and the 70s.
The 70s were just a prelude to the 80s.
No, but the 60s and the 70s were.
Yeah. As were the 80s a prelude to the 90s then.
Yeah, just so we're. And when I say the 60s and the 70s, I'm just referring to the year 60s and the 70s. There's no 19 in front of them. I'm just saying in the year 60s was good. The year 70 CE was good.
So we have to wait for the next 60s and 80s. Then 60s,
70s.
Just sitting around saying, "Oh, hey, look, that's another prophet. We haven't seen one for at least 60 years. That's another prophet.
Here comes a new religion. There you go. That's what we got rid of them all. We killed them. Stupid guys. Anyway, hey, as we're approaching the holiday season, let's discuss what's going to kill everybody coming here on December 19th, which is the AI-3, the spaceship from wherever.
So I'm really confused now because you put this on the WhatsApp group when we were discussing this, and I thought we'd already discussed this. Is this another one? Is it like a bus? Is it like when you're waiting for buses and there's none, and then suddenly there's three of them that come along at the same time?
Number 3.
This is number 3. Wait. We need to build a huge biosphere where you plan to live in they built this biosphere in the 80s. It's exiting the solar system. No, it's actually entering the solar system. So here's what I read the other day, and I'm sure it's all fake news, as Donald Trump would say. So when it came in, like the Abu Dhabi thing from a few years ago, it made lefts and rights, ups and downs, and stopped and whatever. This one actually went over to the sun a couple of days ago, refueled apparently, like hung out there, and now is heading towards Earth. And very exciting because I spoke to them the other night. We're having dinner on Thursday, so it should be interesting to see what happens. So I'm kind of going to call it. Rizza says it's.
Well, it is a lot. Like I said, using the bus analogy, and if you say, well, the 3 buses have come along at the same time, and this is the 3rd bus, and you go, well, have we missed the bus? Was this like, guys, get on, because otherwise,
I don't think it's that. I think it is. I think it's now we're reaching the stage where we have to seriously consider that we're not alone in the universe.
Well, right, 3 of us.
I mean, everybody's been trying to hide all this, that it's all happening, regardless of whether or not it's going to spit out aliens or whatever. Because you're either on the menu or
Earth Girls Are Easy. I saw that movie, so that's why they're coming. They saw that with Jim Carrey.
But the fact is that we have.
But the real question is, are we charging this ship pay per mile as it goes past us?
Oh, we are. Pay for galactic mile. Yeah. If you want to come here, you got to pay. So your bill is huge.
But the thing is, let's say then, and that this is a totally alien object approaching us, which has been driven by alien technology.
When you say aliens, are you talking like Mexicans, or are you talking about aliens from the universe?
Those damn aliens! It's just bloody Indians. Indians coming over from India, isn't it?
Anything that your narrow American mind could get to.
Okay, thank you very little.
So let's just say that it is alien technology.
Okay.
That just proves then that we are not alone.
Yeah,
And
but they had
does
a whole
that not-
committee, Senate committee at the beginning of the year. People were saying we have off-world vehicles.
No, but
we
yeah,
have
but David, I think
life
that's long
forms.
established that we're not alone. I mean, if
Yeah,
you look
that's-
at,
I think-
even if you talk to the
Yeah,
scientists
hey.
and you talk to the astronomers, they go, look, the amount of stuff that's out there,
No,
it's
but
simply
proof,
not
though.
conceivable that
The
we're on
thing
our
is,
own.
guys, we're coming up to Christmas, right?
Oh, really?
So in us Church of England people, we're all excited, because of the baby
Why?
Jesus and all the rest.
Is
Why?
Santa on that spaceship?
Yeah, Santa's on the spaceship. So that questions
That was for the
questions
kids.
the very foundations of Christian belief. That
What,
there
Santa
is
Claus?
only one. There's only one God. There's only one almighty thing, and there's
Well, thank
nothing
you.
else, and He controls everything.
I do.
Thank you, Stephen. But
Yeah,
I mean,
no, seriously, is
but
that really
that rattles a lot of cages.
fundamental? Is that fundamental? Because I'm surprised actually, because as a Muslim I have no problem with it. But is that really fundamental that there's only one race? That's it.
Yeah.
The problem,
Wow.
the problem is this: the Rand company put out a report in the late 50s, early 60s for the United States government. In the United States, they said to the United States government that if you ever told the population that there were extraterrestrials, right, because they had them or whatever, that the population would go crazy and there'd be no order. The people that I know that work for agencies, if you will, that don't exist will tell you the reason that they don't want you to know is because right now when I go, what are you? You'll say you're a Saudi. You're a British guy or whatever you people in Britain call yourselves, white. I'm pasty. I'm glow in the dark. Whatever. But
Hey,
once
we're
you
raising
find
the
out,
flag here. We're raising the flag.
right? But once you find out there's other life,
I'll just
in the
ignore
universe,
that.
as you should. But once you find out that there's life in outside of Earth, or in Earth, or whatever.
No, but the thing is,
you don't
Stephen,
become an American. You don't
But
become
you see,
British. You don't become Saudi.
you become a human being. That's right. I know, but
You
but
become an
the,
Earthling. And when
it's all
you become an
happening,
Earthling,
and nobody
nobody
cares. Do they?
That's the thing.
no,
Nobody cares.
but I'm really concerned here about David's point because ultimately the problem is that it's when you clash with religion that things get really fiery, don't we? And if we're saying okay, if aliens turn up and all the COB people say, well, they don't exist, even when it's standing right in front of you, then what do you do?
Sorry, let's not just say that the aliens turn up, but clearly an alien object, which is moving, let's say, in a very primitive way of saying it, in a mechanical way, not a way that comets have passed us by before. Surely that's got to shake the foundation of the church.
People are the church is always afraid that there'll be no religion. The problem is that people are too busy doing this. They don't, even if a UFO lands tomorrow in Central Park or in Hyde Park, or
you'd go get a selfie with the guy. I know. That's the first thing you do. There'll be all these people there in hazmat suits and going, "Oh, we don't know what he's brought," and you just, "I'll get out of the way. I want to get a selfie." That's it.
But you see, nobody's talking about it, are they? I mean, NASA all of a sudden, we can take a photograph of a closed peg on a line, hanging up some washing.
But the thing is, right?
And then NASA said, "Oh, we don't have any photographs, guys, because
we can't confirm it." But the thing is, like you mentioned the Donald.
There's a government shutdown.
You mentioned the Donald right at the beginning, and we now know that the Donald, his mouth is not connected to his brain, which I don't think even exists. How is it possible that unless you're going to say that he hasn't been told this information? Otherwise, surely he would have revealed whatever is there. This is a guy that stands on an airplane full of journalists and calls a woman journalist piggy to her face in front of the world media. I mean, seriously.
Have you seen her? I mean, really. I mean, just come on. You are what you eat.
But surely an alien would that news about aliens would wipe, because he's always trying to flood the zone with something. Now it's Venezuela. That all goes away. The news is no longer about Trump. It's about an alien object coming towards us. Not necessarily going to land, but it's clearly within the capacity that we have as a planet to look at it a lot closely. He doesn't want to talk about that because
here's the other thing that you guys keep missing. You guys keep missing these two things. One, in 2019, a Pentagon spokesman said on CNN in a live interview, "Yes, we have off-world vehicles." Nobody gave a shit. Earlier this year, our Congress had this whole hearing, and people were saying, "Do we have beings from other. Yes, we have what they call EBs or whatever, life form. So they've already confirmed it, and nobody cares. That's the thing. I think,
but also nobody will
cares.
believe anything as we approach the end of 2025, and as we sit there doom scrolling through our phone, whether it's Instagram or TikTok or whatever it is. I find myself increasingly disbelieving 80% of the content I'm seeing now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I'm just like, that's not real. That's not real. That's not real. Do you know what I mean? Because that's the way we are. Even though the videos look 100% authentic, even the real stuff I'm looking at going, well, that can't be real. You know, yesterday there was news about somebody, I think it was in America, somebody had to make an emergency landing in a light airplane, and they landed on the highway on top of a car, right? And the first couple of videos that turned up, I said, oh, that's pretty good AI. That was my thought in my head. I was like, oh, that's pretty good AI. How did they do that? And then apparently it turns out, no, that actually did happen. You know, but unfortunately, we've arrived at a point at the end of 2025 where we are completely, if an alien landed and came to the Houses of Parliament and stood at the podium and said, I am an alien and I'm here to destroy you, we're like, oh, that's pretty good AI. That's what it would be.
But I mean, we had hearings live on TV where government officials were telling you, yes, they exist, we know about it, and it got a whimper. And we've had the defense minister of Canada, Israel, telling you, yes, they exist. Here's how they exist. 60 Minutes did a story 30 years ago with a government official that was telling everything. What the governments seem to not realize is nobody cares. Do you know why? Because we have enough shit here we have to take care of. So unless you're an alien technology or you're an alien race and you're coming here to actually make life better or some utopia, nobody cares. You could land tomorrow and the kids, to your point, will want selfies. If you're in New York City, they're just going to tell you to get the you-know-what out of their way. They got places to be. Nobody will care. They're going to be like, and then you know what? That'll be the new people that will hate anyway. They're like, they're different. We're going to hate them. All of a sudden.
Well, I'm going to give a world exclusive now because
ta-da! Meet
coming
Mr.
out,
Alien.
Coming out very soon on this channel.
Here we go.
Brand new show about aliens. It's about the oldest recorded UFO incidents. And there's an opportunity.
Oh man, that was such a letdown. That was such a. I thought you were going to introduce an actual live alien. I thought you were going to say, "Oh, today we have with us today."
To be honest, I now have Dutch citizenships, but I've lived here for the last 40 odd years. For the last 39 years, I've been an alien.
So okay. Oh, so now it's coming out.
Yeah, now it's coming.
This is why we never see the lower half of you.
There isn't one. There isn't one. Never has been, never will be. But yeah, so we're going to have that'll come out.
Hence, he didn't get the comment about every guy has a bone in the morning. But anyway,
well, thank God for that, gentlemen. I don't like to be a party pooper, but I have to now go take over a small third world country. It's what I do during the day.
Is it called Britain? Is it called Britain?
Well, you know, if you got to take over something, you might as well take over where there's the Queen. Hi, Charles.
Somalia.
Anyway,
Somalia, that's the place to go.
Yes. So I'm going to let you two continue, and I just want to say to all the fans. Happy healthy holiday, happy Hanukkah, happy Kwanzaa, happy Christmas, whatever the hell everyone else celebrates.
There's too many of them.
There's too many holidays, so just have a happy, healthy, and for my people, not happy New Year's, because our New Year's is in September, so we'll worry about that. But for all the rest of the planet, that's all fakakta. Happy New Year. Brown Car Guy will be back 2026 on the channel, and we'll talk about
if there is a 2026. Yes,
if there isn't a 2026, this is the last recorded history.
Look, if there is, the last bus is leaving. So come on,
that's right. The last bus is leaving.
Well, if you want to know about the oldest recorded UFO incidents, easy for everybody to say. That will be released, I think, before the around the holiday period. So you'll be able to look back and and think to yourself, hey. This stuff's been going on for millennia. And,
thanks for throwing up the show. Anyway, everybody have a happy and healthy holiday. We're going to say goodbye to everybody for 2025 with our year-ending 25-year in review, which I'm not really sure we covered anything, but it was fun. So it's always good to see Brown Car Guy. You can look up for him on his channel on YouTube for under Brown Car Guy, or you can catch any of our shows anywhere from YouTube to podcast to whatever. On 20F Entertainment, and next year, 5th year of 20F Entertainment. We've been doing it that long.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, right. And everything that we were told we shouldn't do, we keep doing it.
Yes.
We keep growing. Who knew?
Break all the rules.
Make all the rules. That's our motto at the channel. But anyway, it's always good to see you, my friend. Have a wonderful holiday with you, the family. We'll look forward to seeing you in 26. David, as always, it's almost a pleasure. And I'll see you next week when we do all our shows. Riza, who keeps writing like a madman.
He might as well have been on the show. He might as well have been on the show, really.
Well, okay, wait. Really, you might as well have come on the show. Final question Riza has really quick. 30 seconds for each of you. What was the leading show this year? Oh, what was the leading show this year? The leading show, Riza, which you already know, was the Habano Saturday Cigar Show, is the #1 show on our channel when it comes to downloads for podcasts, views, and whatnot. Behind that is No Snobs or Knobs, this show, and then Greg's Funny Haha, and then all the other shows fall behind that. So out of our 20 shows, these are the top 5. There you go. But yes, Habano Saturday is the
my
#1 show.
UFO show is going to blow you all away. Watch out for UFO watchers.
Your UFO show is going to blow me? Well, that's a whole nother show.
Well, he doesn't have a lower half, so he doesn't really get that. So are you going to have a representative of C&E on the show to talk about it?
There you go.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, all I can say is 6 and 7, guys. 6 and 7.
All right, that's it. We're out of here. Hey, everybody, have a happy, healthy. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you all next year with the brown car guy, better known as Sermon from the German. Everybody, have a good holiday. Everybody, cheers.
Bye-bye.